friends. Today we're going to be talking about watermelons and how to grow them. Welcome back to my greenhouse, everyone. In here, everything is growing crazy. So these are the watermelon sprouts. I'm going to show you how we can get our watermelons to sprout and to start growing, and you'll see them transition to this all the way until you have a full long vining plant like this, where you will be seeing blossoms and little fruit grow, and hopefully everything will lead up to having a beautiful watermelon plant with lots and lots of fruit on it. All right, let's get this started. So first things first, grab your seed packet of watermelons and spin it around. Now, all the information on the back is the general knowledge you need for this watermelon and how to grow it. So at the top is the name, underneath of that is about the fruit itself, then the harvesting techniques are underneath of that, and then you have your general knowledge of how to plant your seed. You have either the start indoors, which for this one is 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost or the last freeze date, hard freeze date, and then you have the direct sow, which is for people who have the temperature and the harvesting season that is long enough for this plant to be outside. You have your seed spacing, which is about 2 to 3 feet between the two. Your days until germination or your sprouting, which it takes about 1 to 2 weeks for it to sprout. Days to maturity, which is to pick the fruit off the vine, which is about 75 days. And then that little sun icon over there tells you that you need full sun for this plant. All right, and this is the Sugar Baby Watermelon. And I got this at M.I. Gardner. It has 50 seeds in it. And so far it's doing really well. I have 4 different types of watermelon. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because for each one there might be a little bit of variation. So days to maturity to pick is 80 on this one. Still full sun, still sprouting about 1 to 2 weeks. This one is a Charleston Gray. This is massively different in size. This one is about 3 to 4 watermelon, but it can become a 100-pound watermelon. And I can pick the fruit 90 to 100 days. And then this last one, which is the Sweet Dixie Queen. I have a 25 count on this one. Again, can become 100 pounds, but the days till maturity, I can pick this fruit 80 days. So the variation from watermelon to watermelon can be different, and if you want something to grow a little faster, or if you have the season to grow it a little longer, depends on what kind of watermelon you might want for you. So having variation is pretty nice. So you've done all your research, you've either direct sown in the ground or you've started indoors. And if that's the case, you might have sprouted them in a little strip pot with all the rest of your seeds. They have sprouted up after 1 to 2 weeks. They've gone past their normal little sprouting leaves and you've gotten your first true leaf. So, what if you accidentally forget that you don't know which plant is which? Well, I'm going to let you know that a true leaf is going to show you the difference. And you can see that it looks almost like a maple leaf on the top. It has spiky little jagged edges, and that makes it distinct compared to other plants. For instance, this is a squash leaf. It looks dramatically different than this one. You will be able to distinctly tell the difference between the two. All right, now that you figured out that this is your watermelon sprout, you're going to transplant it. So after your watermelon sprouts, what then? Because sometimes if you don't give it the right nutrition or warmth, it will just stay as a seedling. So how do we get our watermelon from this to the next stage? So depending on how you are growing your watermelon plant is dependent on the soil and the temperature that you're going to be using for it. So for instance, I have it in a pot like this. It is going to be needing to transplant into a larger area because remember, it needs 2 to 3 feet in order to grow into a mature, beautiful plant. So, after you see all these true leaves sprouting and getting bigger, if you're going to be doing it in a pot like this, you're going to need potting soil. And for me, because our temperatures in Alaska don't get higher than 70 or 80 degrees, I'm going to need to plant it in a greenhouse where it can reach 80 to 90 degrees fairly easily. So after it is grown in this pot, now we are going to take this and transplant it into a larger pot or into a gardening box so it can grow and be as big and lavish as this guy. So when the conditions are right, you can see that it is growing and growing, and it's not stunted because it has the nutrition that it needs. And so it'll start giving you fruit.
So now you have a mature plant, but for some reason you see all these flowers coming up, but you don't notice that it's really taking. There's no fruit growing on it. Well, why do you think that might be? And it's because sometimes your pollinators aren't getting to the male flowers and impregnating the female flowers to give you fruit. Yes, that is an actual thing. So if this is happening to you and you see that your blossoms are dying and you don't have any fruit on here, this is what you can do. So first, we need to designate what a female fruit looks like. And usually, it's very simple because it will already have a little bulby on the back. So this is your female fruit. And then you go over to your male fruit, which is usually just a thin flower. See, it doesn't have any fruit behind it. It has only the flower itself. And what you can do is you can take this flower off, prune it if you will, and you can be the pollinator. You can be the transfer of the pollen. So you take this, you go to your female flower, and you nestle it in there so the pollen touches the other flower part. And this will occur.
After it has been successfully pollinated, the flower will die and the fruit will start growing because the necessary genetics have been put into place where it's able to reproduce, basically. So you have successfully gotten a fruit bebe.
So now you pollinated, the fruit is growing. What else is there to do but just wait and eat it? Well, the last thing that I have to tell you is make sure you have a place for your fruit to grow. And that means having a trellis space for it, having room on the ground for it to grow, somewhere that the fruit can lay and not accidentally put your small garden box overboard. Make sure that you find a place to put your fruit. All right, now let's go back and make sure we have all of the things that we need for this. So first, how we start our plants in the beginning. Second, afterwards, temperature, food, whether we're gonna pot it in the ground, in a garden, in a greenhouse, or in a pot. Then pollination, and then finding a place for your fruit to be at, whether it be in a trellis, climbing up, or on the ground. All right, guys. I hope this was informational. I hope this was educational, and this helped you too. Ugh, these darn mosquitoes are coming after me. And I really hope that this helps you to grow watermelon wherever you're at, whether it be up in Alaska with me or down in Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, where you can actually grow watermelon outside. Which, yes, very jealous of you, but I'm just glad that I'm able to do it in my greenhouse. Alright guys, if you like this video, please share, subscribe, maybe just hit a like, and I hope you have a wonderful gardening experience. This is Christy with the AK Gardener. Bye guys.